Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We have another edition of the Uncle's Show. I am Uncle Rob. He is Uncle Ryano. Good morning, Uncle Ryano.
Hello. Good morning, my brother. What's up?
Man, I tell you what, you turned me on to this guy a while back, gave me his number. I texted him and we just kind of touch base. He called me up one night, and I learned a lot about this man while we were on that phone for that hour phone call. I didn't realize that this man had a shape in my younger 20s. My life, I was all about watching some TV and did not know that this man was instrumental in very many of the theme songs for TV shows and movies. We're talking about Mr. Barry Coffing. What's up, Barry?
Hey, how you doing, uncles?
Man, doing great, man. So honored, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. For folks who, like me, a month ago did not know who Barry Coffing is, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
All right. My parents graduated class of 60. My mom was singing, plays and opera, kind of light opera stuff. My dad was in an interracial doo-wop band in the 50s, which was presented its own set of fun. They thought happiness was a place, so me and my brother and sister, we went to 16 different schools to make it through high school. I lived in Ohio, Florida, Indiana, ultimately ended up in Texas, and went to all the schools, all three of us went to the high school for the performing and visual arts because everybody in my family could sing. And so did 6 years of playing clubs and bars, everything from really fancy jazz clubs to chicken wire things by the Ship Channel. Every kind of band from punk, country, rock, you name it. Ran off to LA to be a rock star. Got a deal on Warner Brothers that went double cardboard. That's where you and 7 people buy it. Had my own label on Sony where I lost more money in less time than I thought possible. Had a bunch of really bad publishing deals. My publishing is now, my admin's owned by Universal. I've never met them because they bought Polygram, who I was close with. So every bad thing that can happen. But then I ended up in the world of film and TV, working with Steve Tyrell and Barry Mann. Barry Mann, who wrote You've Lost That Love and Feeling on Broadway, Just Once. Him and Cynthia Weil were part of the Brill Building. So I was in like songwriting mecca in LA. And we ended up doing songs for movies. I've written 200 songs for film and TV. I'm an Emmy loser. I wrote a song called How Do You Talk to an Angel with Steve and his wife that went #1 for an Aaron Spelling show. I did the theme song and music for California Dreams with them. I did Kids Incorporated with Disney, Catwalk for MTV. If there's a bunch of kids and they had a band, I probably wrote the songs for them. And then kind of ran back to Houston, had 4 kids of my own, and trying to raise kids in LA was very expensive. So moved them back there, got them all situated, and now having fun, and kind of got bored and started my own music business networking group, and then my own nonprofit, and my own festival. And then currently my job is I represent 20,000 record labels and libraries from 79 countries around the world for film and TV licensing. And so we put a song in a project every 72 hours. Boom.
Wow, that is a big change from the rock star dream, but in the same aspect, you got your own rock star dream coming true.
Well, it's so fun to help other people, because nobody gets there, like the whole DIY thing. And there never was a DIY. I always joke that if the Beatles didn't have a great manager and a great record producer, they'd still be playing at a whorehouse in Berlin. So that's the hard part. That's what Ryano and the Tribe and everybody's trying to do is it's a team sport. You can be Michael Jordan and score 63 points and still lose the playoff game. You got to get it. You'll go as far as your team will take you and your work ethic.
Well, this Tribe team is all about togetherness and supporting everybody. You hit on two things that I had alluded to earlier that formed my early 20s. That TV show, man, The Heights, it only lasted one season. Probably didn't even finish this season. But, man, that song, How Do You Talk to an Angel, with Jamie Walters on lead, that song was a mega hit. I still play that on one of my shows. and California Dreams. I mean, growing up, watching Saturday morning TV, I was all about some Kelly Packard, and and that show just, I mean, again, it lasted a couple seasons, I think, 2 or 3 seasons or so.
No, it lasted 5.
5 seasons. Okay. Well, I need to go back and I need to watch the other 3 seasons. But again, to be involved in associated with that type of a success, man, that's amazing. And that brings us up to your main baby right now, which is called Springboard Festival. So me and Uncle Ron have been talking about Springboard Festival for seems like a couple of years now. You are the founder of the Springboard Festival, and tell us, your mission. What is your mission statement on Springboard Festival?
So it started out like I would go and speak at these. I speak on a lot of panels because everybody wants the film and TV guy. So I'd go to South by Southwest and do all these conferences everywhere around the country. And man, I'd go, man, I could do a better conference. Like they'd get a bunch of people talking, a bunch of famous people talking about all the famous things, people they know. And it's like, they didn't help anybody. It just a bunch of people patting each other on the back, and I just hated it. I always felt like if someone took all the effort to travel, to be there and do that, we should give them information to help them, not, talk about ourselves. There are a couple of panels at South by where I'm going, I want my hour back, And so somebody called my bluff on it in Houston and said, I'll give you this place called City Center. I'll give you the outdoor stage, this, that, and the other for $600. And I went, done. And within 4 weeks, I did a 3-day festival with 54 bands. And that was the very first Springboard in 2000.
And how long did it take you to form this?
About 4 weeks.
That's a month, folks. Went from 0 to 54 bands in 1 month.
Well, the crazy thing is I'm on the board of the film school at Houston Community College. And you think a community college, it's cute? Not in Texas. They've got 8 locations and they've got 40,000 students. They have their own Foley stage. So we got the film school to come and shoot and interview everybody. I didn't just do it. I just did it batshit crazy. And we didn't even have a place to do the conference. So I got Ricky Anderson, who is the lawyer for Beyonce and Steve Harvey and all these people. I got him to come and, consult with the artist at a coffee shop we did all of our conferences. We had tables in a coffee shop, and that's where the actual conference part went. So it was crazy. And then I started a nonprofit to go with it called Sustainable Artists. And our deal is to teach artists how to make a living. So I joke, it's like a Republican charity. We're teaching them how to fish, not giving them a fish. And so it's empowering, not disabling. And so, and I have had so many amazing people. One year in Houston, we had my management panel I closed with was Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, Beyonce's Destiny's Child Solange, Vicki Hamilton, who was the original manager for Guns N' Roses, Poison, Motley Crue, Rick Barker, Taylor Swift's first manager, and Dale Penner, who did all the artist development and basically managed Nickelback and did their first record. So once you say Guns N' Roses, Beyonce, Nickelback, and Taylor Swift, and these are their managers before they got famous. It wasn't I picked them up, at the height of their fame.
Hey, Barry.
Yep.
Barry, not for nothing, but for the indies that are listening, this is important. The people that he just named, they're the ones who first identified the precious stone. It's easy to see a shiny, sparkling diamond that's sitting in a jewelry box in the jewelry store. But to understand every time you see that, the heavy lifting, the people who had the foresight, the people who knew what needed to have attention given to it, are the people that Barry just mentioned. Those are the people who did the digging. They cleaned it off. They polished it up so the rest of the world, ergo the people who now manage them, could recognize it. Because though they can manage something now, they couldn't discover them, develop them into what they are now. And the people that
development, that's a big part.
Yeah, the people that Barry just mentioned, these are the people that look for the rough cut diamonds. These are the people that know how to take a stone and turn it into a priceless gem. And so that's very important. That's what we're in the business of. Carry on, Barry.
Yeah, well, it was amazing because everybody came there thinking it used to be so much easier and it was so much different. And boy, they got discovered in a soda place. And half of those people I know very well, the other half not so well. So I went ahead and asked every question you'd want to ask. Matthew Knowles, true or false? Did you hock your house to do the Destiny's Child record? True, $35,000 second mortgage. Taylor Swift, is her daddy Swift Trucking? False. We tried to do a deal with them, and they said they didn't want that trailer trash near their trucks. Bet they regret that one. You know,
epic failure.
Yeah. So, but I asked all those questions, and I think the thing that was the most profound to me is when Matthew was sitting there and he was talking about all the different names Destiny's Child had, because those girls were on. What was it with? So it was, what's his name? Star Search. They were literally on Star Search as like 10 or 12-year-old girls. That's back when
with Ed McMahon.
Yeah. I actually did that show too. You know, I was on the first season. I got beat by Sam Harris. You know, and so they talked about all the different names, and they would change their name, do 3 more songs, take another run up. But he said, and he was just going through and just naming all the different names that Destiny's Child had been, and all the different 3 girls, 5 girls, you know, how many girls had been in it, you know, and they started to realize that nothing's changed. It's the same. It's a nightmare, and there is no overnight success. The average overnight success is 8 years. So if that's an overnight success, keep that in mind, you know. And so they walked out. They walked in like all angsty, and there were like 300 people there. They all walked out like light as a feather. Like, yeah, it's always sucked. It's not just me. It's always been this hard, you know. And if you can do anything, the best thing to do is get them to think differently. Get them to understand the reality of it. That does more good than anything else.
Now, when did you form Springboard?
So it's Springboard Fest if you go look for it online. And then we've got all these microsites, Springboard Houston and all that stuff. But the main one's Springboard Fest, and it was 2012.
So you're 14 years into it now.
And we've done 24 events. We're about to do our 25th. If anyone wants to come, springboardeast.com. You can sign up. We're, looking for a few good men. And it's going to be the middle of, it starts August 12th through the 15th, I think.
And where's it being held? Washington,
D.C. It's our first time being on the East Coast.
So what I need you to do is later on when we get off the air, those flyers that you sent out to us, I put all 3 of those on our website.
To give you an example of the people, you didn't need to put them up, but
Well, we're supporting that, and I wanted to put that, first and foremost up front. I just need a website that I can link to that, to where they can click on that picture and go learn everything about Springboard.
Right.
I figure that's the least I can do. I run our website, and if I can't do anything else, which I'm sure there's other things I can do as well, but that's groundwork just to get that noticed out there.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we appreciate it, and we've got some already for Springboard East. We got one. We had a group coming from Portugal. We got somebody coming from Hawaii. The cool thing about these is we pick the best bands. We don't care what genre. I don't care if they're old. I don't care if they're fat. I don't care if they're ugly. I don't care. We get the best people. We stick them in a room. And a third of everything good that happens, put them in a room. Put them in a room. And when they first come in there, everybody's a little bit on edge. They're the hottest guy from Iowa, and they don't, they self-identify. These people believe enough to travel across the world to go to a place to try to make it.
That's how you know, Rob, that Barry doesn't have good taste in friends, because I'm old, fat, and ugly. So I just fit.
You got the trifecta.
I can prove.
Winning.
I've got 2 of the 3. I'm old and ugly, but I'm not fat at the moment. I used to be a little bit bigger, but I've got 2 strikes as well.
Yeah, there you go. But no, it's always international, and it's fun. Our stages, we always mix them up. And so, and again, the speakers are part of the reason the speakers come. I mean, yes, they're nice and they're altruistic, but the truth is that we've done the junk filter. Like the the best we've had is we had 3,000 bands sign up for San Diego one year, and we picked 50. Like right now, we'll probably pick between 35 and 50 for DC.
Now, how many springboards do you do around the nation a year?
We are so delusional that we are in the next 12 months we will do 4 springboards and 2 stages at the Cutting Edge conference in New Orleans the last week of August, and we're running stages for that.
You guys are growing, man, growing. I mean, I know when you started that 14 years ago, this is probably what you wanted, but you probably didn't realize that this is how big it was going to get.
You know what? I'm like Ryano. I was so delusional that I had planned 4 of them anyway. And, Springboard London, I flirted with that 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I would love to say that I didn't. What I didn't plan on is it being that hard. I had the delusion of doing it, but then you get in and it's just like, what a shit show every time. Like, amazing. Like, and I've got a team, like, we've been through so much that nobody's scared anymore. Like, we showed up in New Orleans at the House of Blues. We got a band going on in 30 minutes, Carson Clay's going on. We have the PA's sitting on the stage, and they're going, no, don't touch it like it's a union gig. Our guys will be there. It's 15 minutes before, and me and Crystal Mata, one of our Springboard alums, who came from the HCC school and Berkeley, we set up the PA. We start 10 minutes late, catch up by the end. F those guys. I finally quit listening to them. I said, yeah, all right, here's what we're doing. I don't care what your rules are. So let's set the PA up. And fearless,
Well,
and right. Too, like Ryano will come, and it's like, he's one of our favorite kind of guys. He's like a triple threat. You could stick him on 3 different panels and he will enlighten the world. And so we do. There are certain people that I abuse every chance I get.
We'll look at him. He could be a security guard if things get crazy too.
I'm not used to looking up to very many people. He's one of them.
You don't believe it? Go watch the Tom Worth video. You see him being a security guard.
Yeah, it's like, hey, why Tom bring his bodyguard?
You guys got another one coming up in October. It was going to be at Springboard Memphis, and they switched it to Nashville. Talk a little bit about how much more important that is now that it's in Nashville. I mean, I know you probably get more people to show up and be participating in it.
Well, it's. Yeah, we're calling it Springboard South, which is funny. The original Springboard was called Springboard South. Because my idea is South, North, East, and West. And then now we turned Springboard's, the one in Houston to Springboard Texas, because we put a little tour with it, And so the Springboard South name was available. And our goal with the one in Nashville is to do the bands like we did in Texas. We'll do the 3-day event in Nashville. And you're right, it makes getting the panelists really, really easy. I think it's such a great music town that there'll be a lot of artists that will come to the conference. I think it'll be really well attended. And then we're going to take about 20 of the bands on a micro tour, and we're going to do Memphis, Birmingham, and Atlanta. And
you hit on something. Memphis is straight up legit. One of my haunts is Beale Street. I love that, and the history of Stax and Sun Records and all of that. That's incredible. And Barry really taps into that, Rob. He really pulls that up. So you don't just get the current version of it today. You get the ghosts. You get to feel the history, and the old institution leaders, from these old institutions come in and intermingle with all the up and coming indie artists. But Nashville is a different animal altogether. And when you take people, when these Springboard artists come, when they're not on the panels and the conference is off, Nashville's still going. and they'll be able to go to Lower Broadway and get a real baptism in fire. They'll be able to go down there and see these people playing for tips, who every single one of them's got Keith Richards and Mark Knopfler chops. You know, guitar player, every one of them's got the chops. Fiddle players that'll blow your mind, steel players, drummers that could be with Def Leppard but wear a cowboy hat. It's going to it's going to be an enlightening thing for everybody. Look at that hot chick.
I didn't know you'd see me.
Oh, I can see you, baby girl. There you go. Mwah.
She's telling me that one of Lisa McDavid, one of the things that happened at Springboard, Danny Jones and through one of our other people kind of met, brought this girl Lisa McDavid, and the project kind of grew out of that. And so a bunch of our mentors are jumping in, producing and doing. My wife's doing the logos and artwork, and she has a record release party on July 26th at Sweetwater. She's the lead singer for the Sweetwater All-Stars. And for those of you who don't know, that's basically if Guitar Center and Amazon had a baby. I don't know a musician who hasn't bought something from Sweetwater. And they're one of the cool companies that actually, they'll give musicians credit. They'll let you pay over time. They really are, Chuck Surratt he's a sax player himself. And, it's great to have somebody that, involved in the music business that actually is a musician, because that's few and far between now.
So if Springboard, let's say I live in Nashville, and Springboard's coming to Nashville in October, who are you looking for? Okay, are you looking for indie artists that are already established? Are you, if I'm just thinking about, I think I want to do this, just trying to get a perspective of who all you're inviting to come to that?
So we are looking for guys halfway across the stream. Our job, there's a lot of people who help you get started. There's a lot of people who take your money once you're going to make it. It's that no man's land. I'm halfway across the river. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the other side. We're looking for guys that have done everything themselves that they can do. And then we're going, what are they missing? Oh, you need an agent? Great. You need a manager? You can't write a song? Need a good record? Need help with social media? Whatever it is you need, it's there. And we're up on the technology. We're doing some stuff with some AI things that we're going to show. Because again, AI is a double-edged sword. It's a horrible, terrible thing and an amazing, wonderful tool. It's like guns, How do you use it? Did it protect your family, or did you just go accidentally shoot your dog? You got to see it in that way. And so right now I spend half my time warning everybody about the bad contracts on the legal thing, and then tell them how to get ahead using it on the marketing. So it's got to be respected and treated that way. And some of the things we're doing is we're advocating, kind of like, you remember they had that thing, if you play it, say it, because they kind of quit talking about who the bands were on radio. If you're using it, acknowledge it. Like, don't go put, like my wife does, she's graphics and she does, there's this guy, Tom C. Reed, that we just finished his website, and it's flipping amazing. And he sounds like if David Bowie and Steely Dan got together with Chicago as their uncle. Like, the record's the most amazing, weird thing you've ever heard. And so the artwork and everything is crazy like that too. And so, but most of the artwork, some of it was prompted AI, some of it was licensed music or stuff. Some things were completely human generated. And so what we did is we created a stoplight. If it's green, all human done. If it's red, hey man, that's all a robot. Don't go say, I love that artist who painted that painting, AI. We don't want somebody to be embarrassed. And then we got the hybrid yellow. It's half AI, half human. And again, we also do, when we're using AI, people think you go AI and it make me an album cover, and it does. Anyone who uses knows that isn't it. It ain't that smart. It doesn't have creativity. It regurgitates other creative people's shit. So if you're creative, it's who prompted it. Who taught it, said, do this, no, change that, no, do this, no, fix that. So then we go, this image was, generated by AI, prompted by this human. So no one thinks it's anything else. And no one's embarrassed by going like the fake bands. And we're not doing any music that's AI generated. I can't legally do it. I got a deal with Netflix and Sony, and we are not allowed to have AI music at all.
Can you detect? How easy is it to detect AI music?
You can hear it now. If they don't have vocals, you start to get in trouble. I do not believe that we will be able to continue to do it over the next 36 months. I think you're gonna feel it. You're gonna like. There's things that AI does when it makes a melody, when it does a lyric. There are, there's going to be some gray area for certain things. A real creative artist, I've heard a bunch of Uncle Ryano's tunes. They're not going to go out and go Witch a Bitch Woods. I'm sorry. They are not ever going to write that song ever. So some people.
And I've noticed that, I get a lot of submissions and I find out later that they're AI. My thing is the vocals on AI sound similar. Like I went in, I'm not gonna lie, I went into Sono and I started messing with it. Hey, I want you to write me a song like this. I wanted to have a little Southern rock flair, Leonard Skinner sound, whatever. It comes back as Southern rock. The guy sounds like the same guy that is singing on some of the AI songs that was sent to me. So to me, that's how I can pick it out. That man's voice is always the same. So I go to Springboard, and you say you've got all these resources as far as to teach branding and finances and all that. Do you have, like, let's say I go over there, I have no manager, I have no nothing, but do you have the resources of those people to get me in contact with? As
Yes.
far as, say, a PR guy or a social media person or a manager?
Well, you're going to meet them because we have all kinds of different networking events and things like that. We also have, one of the things we do to fund it is we have a silent auction. And the silent auction, not only do our guys come and speak for free, but it's write a song with Uncle Ryano. It's, get consulting with this person, all this stuff. And it ends up going for a third the price. They all think, I can't afford this guy to mix my record. I can't afford that guy. I can't afford this. And at the end of the day, you can't afford not to. So they do end up, we don't give out their names willy-nilly, but they do have access to these guys, and we do, like Nashville, we're going to have a really, Alan Brewer, who's a friend of mine who does music clearance, like he's my clearance guy for some of the movie stuff I do. We're going to have what we call a Moment of Truth panel, which we have at every Springboard. And basically, instead of having a panel going, how do you guys find music for the movies? Well, sometimes my friends tell me, and sometimes I go to the clubs. I don't want to hear that shit. You think your songs belong in the movies? Here's somebody from Disney. Here's somebody from Fox. Here's somebody from Grey's Anatomy. 1 minute of one song. What do you want to play for the panel? Moment of Truth. 1 minute of one song. Let's do it. And we've gotten 30 people placed in movies from our panels.
Off of 1 minute of one song.
Yeah, they know, in 5 seconds if it's going to work. And it may take 6 months. It may not be that song, but they got on that supervisor's radar. They're a human being now. They're a real person. And so, we're going to do the same thing for radio and same thing with publishing and songwriting. Would you sign me? That kind of stuff. Especially, that's going to be super easy to do in Nashville. If you think we can't get a bunch of monster publishers, you don't know Ryano. I mean, you don't know. It's like, we'll have that.
Well, the thing is, Nashville's not country music anymore. Nashville is a melting pot of all genres. You can look at.
It always has been. That's what made it so amazing. Even when people were watching Hee Haw back in the day, one of the greatest rock guitar players of all time, just guitar players, period, was Roy Clark. I mean, anybody that ever played or watched the guy, they always saw him playing the country music. But if they ever saw him play, he could step in his youth. He could have stepped in with a Steve Vai or Glenn Campbell. That's another one. These guys all made their recognition in the country world, but that's not all they loved, and that's not all they were. And George Strait's first band was a rock band. I mean, we can go on and on. most of the guys who are the country legends at some point played in a rock band, from Waylon Jennings playing bass to Charlie Daniels playing Southern rock. I mean, it's always been a thing. And so now it's just with everything being in real time and people having the ability to live stream broadcast when they're in the local bands, you've got people playing what the people love. You're not being forced to listen to what they decide you're going to have a choice of liking or not liking. And so that's the real Nashville is welling up, and it's pouring out through everyone's cell phones now. That's why it seems that way.
But before we move to the next topic, is there anything else on Springboard that you want to share with the audience?
Well, I will tell you that by next week, we will have Springboard South signups as well as New Orleans signups ready and you'll be able to get it at springboardfest.com. You can sign up for any of the three. You can do East, South, or New Orleans.
Can I do all three?
Yeah, you can try.
You get all three. I mean, you're going to have to do some traveling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and we do let guys come back. You know, the other thing, too, is once somebody's done a Springboard, they can come back to the conference for free. You know, because sometimes it's really fun not to have to perform, just to go and I would go to these things once every 6 months anyway, because it's moving so quickly that I learned something. I've learned so much from moderating the panels. If I don't know anything about it, I just get three of the smartest people I can find and I'm moderating the TikTok panel, you know, and then I at least get a cursory knowledge of it. But that's the one biggest mistake is a lot of the speakers think they're too good for the classes. And so we don't even call them panels anymore. We call them master classes. It's either tech talks or master classes, because we're not there to have a regular panel. It's going to be at a certain level. It's not for the, like you'd asked before, Rob, you know, what is, who's our target market? It's not the person who's curious, the hobbyist. It's the person who thinks they know it all. Because I'm about to show you, you do not, none of us do. It will humble everybody. I've never, all the speakers that do it enough and watch enough panels know better than to think they got it figured out, because there's something shocking and amazing that everybody knows, and especially if you have it diverse. I remember I put Peggy Iafrate, who started all the Radio Disney things, with a hip-hop guy, Pyrex. And you looked at that panel, everybody out there going, what are those two doing on the same panel? And I think, being honest, they looked at each other and thought the same thing. By the end, she's going, can I get your card? We're going, you know, yeah, yes, you can. You know, and do not judge a book by its cover. That is, do that at your folly.
And here's the best part. What do you charge the folks to go to Springboard?
They play with nothing but their talent. If you're good enough, we comp you into everything.
See that, guys? I mean,
it'll be cheap. Like cheap if you want to just come to the conference, which I think they're doing $100 or something. You know, like for multiple days, they're doing a really cheap version. And if you really can't afford it, talk to us. We'll make accommodations. We want once we put the conference there, we want as many people as we can get there.